I have this love-hate relationship with 3D printers. I hate the process, but I just love how the technology opens up new doors. And this is a Peopoly Phenom. And when I get a chance to borrow one of these for a few weeks, what I 3D print? The world's biggest Warhammer bits. Hey everyone, you're watching Squidmar Miniatures, I'm Emil. So I got this 3D printer to try out and play around with for a video to make something fun with. And it's just this huge 40 kilos 3D printer made out of solid metal. And it's just a giant printer that lets me print out the quality of resin prints, but in a large format, similar to the ones that FDM printers have. And whenever I'm given a chance like this to try out a new huge toy to print stuff for my hobby, I'm gonna take it. And directly my mind starts going in all kinds of creative places. How about 3D printing 400 dungeon tiles in 20 hours? Maybe. Or 3D printing a full-size terrain for my gaming table in resin. No, I think I've got it. How about life-size Warhammer bits? It might sound as a joke, but I'm actually really excited to test this one and see what I can do with it. I've had this idea of 3D printing like huge Warhammer stuff with my FDM printers and sanding them and painting them up and maybe having them in the background of the videos. But with this printer, I could probably print most of the stuff in just one piece and paint it directly. I won't have to do any post process of it. It would be just good to go as it is. So the first idea I had was to do Space Marine stuff. A Space Marine helmet, a plasma pistol, and maybe something else if I can find that and have time for it. I found this on Thingiverse. It's a huge plasma pistol. Unfortunately, it's a solid piece. I could print every part separately, but that would kind of kill the idea of the whole video of seeing how big I can go. I'm horrible at making supports, and I've never really gotten started with hollowing out different sculpts, so I got some help from Greg from 3D Printing Pro. If you don't know who that is, he has a YouTube channel where he goes very technical into different things about 3D printing, and his class on making supports for miniatures is probably the best one out there, so go give him a follow if you don't already. So after 36 hours, I now have a plasma pistol. And how awesome is this? So just for the lulz of it, I'm just slapping on some paint quickly, priming it with my Army Painter spray cans, using the airbrush to get smooth layers, and yeah, just having some fun with this, painting it quickly just to show you kind of how cool it looks when it's painted. I could probably scale this up to at least like 30-40% of the size if I would have printed it vertically, but yeah, that's another probably 50-60 hours of work, so that will have to be for another time. For now though, I'm really happy with this. We could fit this whole one on the printer, this angle. So on to the next project. I found this fine one on Etsy. It's a Space Marine wearable helmet for cosplayers. So I thought, why not 3D print this in one piece? But as it seemed, the build plate is still a little bit too small to make a wearable helmet, at least with a Space Marine sort of size. Greg's recommendation was to make it the size of like a football helmet, American football helmet. And yeah, that's a little bit too big for the build plate. But I got some more help from a 3D sculptor friend called Rollin. Again, I'll put some link in the video description to check out these guys if you want to pick some of his awesome miniatures up. So he helped me cut up the helmet into different pieces and we could 3D print it in a huge freaking way. This is actually just 4 different pieces and I think it came out so beautiful. It's again huge. It took me like 100 hours to get it printed properly, but it's totally worth the time. Definitely. I'm really happy about playing around with this one. The material cost for a pistol like this is probably around like $10 to $17. It's a bit, I mean, depends on the price, but I'm calculating the Swedish prices of like $50 per liter. If you do the helmet, that one is a lot more expensive. It's a lot closer to $50, maybe even $60, depending on the resin that you pick up. But for having fun, it's such an amazing piece. For cosplayers, I think it's wonderful. And in terms of speed, just being able to print like 100 figures in one go on this build plate will make you be able to print an army for Frostgrave in like a day. Or imagine the possibilities of 3D printing like a huge robot or a tank for a war game, or if you want to print out a dragon for Dungeons and Dragons in one piece, instead of printing like the arm separately, the hand separately, the head, you can do everything in one go. And on top of that, not having to spend hours upon hours of post-process of sanding different things and making it look decent without having these 3D printing lines on them. That's so cool. But are there any negatives? Yes, there are. The first one and the biggest hurdle, I guess, is the price. It's about $1,900 to $2,000 for this one, which makes it out of range for most hobbyists. But if you're a gaming club or you're a bunch of different 3D printers who are interested in getting one, you can probably go together and pick one up. When you start doing that, the price for a gaming club to pick one of these up is quite a bit lower. Or if you're a 3D printer who prints and sells prints, it's probably worth it as well. The biggest negative for me though, who didn't purchase one, who just have one to try out, is the sound. The sound level is quite a lot. And it's not that the machine itself, when it moves up and down, makes sounds, it's the fans in the machine. It cools down the light panels and all of that stuff. It's loud, like very loud. So I've been working and having that one on, and after a day's work with the machine on while I'm working, even if I have my door closed here, it's still like a headache feeling because you've had this loud noise in the background the whole day. Loud noises! But if you can have it in a separate room that's not directly next to you where you're working, it's probably fine. But for me, that was like the big negative. Other than that, I've been having a lot of fun. It eats resin because it prints so huge things. But again, I guess that's what it's for. And I've been having a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy these two things that I've printed so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and 3D print more stuff for myself. I'm gonna print some buildings and see how like a full fantasy house looks when it's 3D printed. And I've got some builds for videos in the future. I don't want to spoil too much, but that's going to be fun. So with that, if you like this video or just my videos in general, leaving likes is a good way of helping this video get spread to new people. Subscribe if you want to see hobby videos every week, and if you want to support this channel, there's a couple of ways you can do that. Either by joining me on Patreon, pledging a few dollars every month to help me run this channel. You also get to hang out with me and all of the others on a Discord chat where we talk about life and just have fun and miniatures, of course. If you're interested in any of the stuff that I use in videos, I put links in the video description as well as on my website, squidmar.com. If you follow any of those links to Amazon, they kick a bit of money back to this channel, so that helps me run this and make sure that I can make videos every week for you guys. With that said, have a great day. Bye bye.